Okay, so this is going to be my submission for the Be the Teacher thing. It's going to be on Unit 1. Okay, thank you. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so this is going to be the Unit 1 overview by Kieran Herman. Okay, so maps and projections. A projection is a 2D representation of a 3D surface. All projections have some sort of distortion because you cannot legitimately put a 3D object onto a 2D surface because it does not work. And it has to be distorted in some way to make it just recognizable. So there's many different types of distortion: size, shape, distance, and direction. So we can see size, distance, and direction because Greenland is way larger than like Africa and South America, so that's size, and that will also probably be distance because direction because the distance and direction from England to Greenland will probably be way off. And maps can also have many different types of scales. So a small scale map would be a world map or an entire map of the United States. So it shows little detail, so it shows small amounts of detail, so small scale. While if you took just Sarasota County and made a map of that, that would be a large scale map because it would be having large detail, unless you make a map that has more detail than that. Like if you made a map of a specific neighborhood, then that would be a larger scale map. So larger scale maps is more detail. So the geographic grid. The geographic grid contains a gridding system of the globe which uses longitude and latitude. Latitude is, as you can see, it's vertical, and longitude is horizontal. So the meridian is it connects the southern and northern poles, and it uses latitude, while a parallel is a horizontal axis that uses they uses longitude because it's parallel from the equator. While there's a prime median that is located in Greenwich, England, because it's located at 0 longitude. So that's why it's located there. So, types of maps. There's many different types of maps, as you can see. So right here we have the isoline map. It uses little isolated different segments to show their statistics. Next, we have the dot distribution maps, which uses dots to show like the distribution, like so in this map this is way more dense than that because there's way more dots over here than over there. Next, you got your choropath, which would be different types of color. So there's different colors, and that would mean like different amounts of stuff. So yeah, and then you got the graduated symbol map. So the different sizes of the symbols would mean different things. Like this is the U.S. oil consumption. So Texas uses way more oil than like Wisconsin. So our final map is going to be the cardiogram, which it uses distortion to tell you the statistics. So this is it's for organic agriculture. So there is way more organic agriculture down here than in America. So it uses the distortion to tell you. Maps can be used for many different things. You can say temperature, or how much crop is grown, or just density. So there's many different ways to use a map, so maps can be very useful. Okay, so next we got your regions, names, and sites. A toponym is a name given to every unique location. Unique locations include anything with unique physical characteristics. So mountains or plateaus may be a unique physical characteristic. A site is a location that has a unique physical characteristic, such as topography, a water source, vegetation, or like elevation. So, yeah. And a region is a place that it's not really specific. It's not as specific as like a point, but it's also not the entire planet. Regions can be characterized by many different things. Some regions can also vary depending on the thing that you're measuring it by. So our next slide is actually the different types of regions. So there are many different types of regions, such as and they all show different characteristics. So a formal region is a region which everyone shares one or more distinctive characteristic. So if you go to like the south, one distinctive characteristic is accent and using specific words. So if everyone has a southern accent, that could be one distinctive characteristic that makes it a formal region. Also, if you go to like Nashville, Nashville has a big thing of fried chicken. So if this is hypothetical, but if everyone loves fried chicken, that can be a characteristic of Nashville. So a functional region or a nodal region, they're interchangeable, is a region that everything is organized around a specific point. So it's a region where everything is kind of organized around this one specific point. So take Chicago. Chicago is known for its deep dish pizzas. It's located in Chicago. Chicago is a node, so it would spread farther as you go farther. That's like it spreads less and less. So that would be a nodal region. A vernacular region is a region which a group of people thinks exists because of them and their cultural identity. And spatial distribution is like the distribution between one key feature to another key feature. If they're related, it would have a high spatial distribution, while if it's not related, they'll have a low spatial distribution. Okay, globalization. Globalization is the spread of any kind of like media or anything like that on a global scale. Globalization can happen in many ways, like marketing, social media, or word of mouth. Globalization occurs and as everything spreads, the density or the prevalence of the object or whatever you're trying to spread will increase dramatically. There may be a pattern that starts to develop based on how the object is spread. So, like, if the object is spread by word of mouth, it would be way more in one location rather than if you spread it on social media, it would be far-reaching. And because of globalization, uneven development can be caused. And so like if you take America and Africa, America is going to be way more advanced than Africa because globalization went to America first because that's where it started. And so Africa has kind of been left behind in certain places. Okay, so types of geography. Post-structuralist geography consists of the study of how the powerful groups seek to dominate their less powerful counterparts. Okay, so colonialism and just colonies in general. It's the larger nations dominating the small one that they set up. or when the world powers started trying to conquer Africa, that would be an example of post-structuralist geography. So, humanistic geography is geography with the emphasis on the ways different groups will push a certain idea into a specific place. So, LGBTQ plus people can focus on one specific area, like where the Stonewall riots were, and they can make a symbol of that area, and that would be humanistic geography. Behavioral geography consists of points focusing on like psychological traits in different individuals, like it would be how people function in different parts of the world, I think. Okay, so resources. A resource is a substance that is that can be naturally occurring and man-made, but it is generally useful to people, and that's why it's a resource. A renewable resource is a resource that has no limit. It's like the sun. So a renewable resource would be something like the sun or wind. It's like constantly there, and there's not really a limit on how much we can use. While a non-renewable resource has a limit or a finite amount available. So, like coal or water. People don't usually think of water as a non-renewable resource because, like, they think, oh, water's so prevalent, but in a lot of places it's not, so it would be a non-renewable resource. Okay, so sustainability is the use of Earth's renewable and non-renewable resources, and there is the 3 pillars of sustainability: the social, the economic, and the environmental. And of course, you want to do what's best for the society, the environment, and your economy. So you have to take all 3 factors into account. And preservation is keeping the space the exact same over the time, while conservation is just trying to like conserve it, and it can decrease, but you just want to make sure it's not going to like go into the gutters. Okay, so Earth systems. Okay, so Earth consists of many different systems, so there are both biotic and abiotic factors. So a biotic factor would be something that's living, something as cells, but it's such as like humans or plants. It's living. While a abiotic factor would be a factor that is not living, like mountains, water, or sunlight. It's not living. And so, yeah. And there are 4 systems that make up the Earth: the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, the lithosphere, and the biosphere. The atmosphere is the air, and of course, the atmosphere with all its different materials and stuff, like oxygen and nitrogen and helium. The hydrosphere consists of all the water, which also probably means like all the fish, and if we want to go for a stretch, all the icebergs, because icebergs are technically a form of water, and it's actually a majority of our fresh water, so that could also be a form of the hydrosphere. And the lithosphere, which is like the Earth's crust and the core and all of that stuff. And the biosphere, which consists of all the animals, plants, and all of that kind of stuff. And that is the end of the presentation. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.